Alright guys, so with the recent Apple event, there is 4 new iPhones: the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So yeah, I listed it within lowest to highest price. You may be wondering which one you should pick up, and whether or not you should wait till next year for the iPhone 13s, or if you should actually invest and pick up a $700 plus iPhone. So yeah, I'm going to be answering that, give my thoughts and opinions as someone who's reviewed a lot of phones, and yeah, just give my honest thoughts and opinions on which iPhones you should buy. Alright guys, so the first iPhone on the list of new iPhones is, and the cheapest, is also the iPhone 12 mini. So this basically got its whole, little section. This is pretty much the same as the iPhone 12, and pretty much the main focus of these is to provide quite a good phone, but not provide 120Hz. Yep, I know. Basically, the main point of these is the new design and also the 5G capabilities. And to talk about 5G, apparently this has the widest 5G availability of any smartphone.
iPhone can now access Verizon's 5G ultra-wideband. It's built with large quantities of millimeter wave spectrum that enable unprecedented performance.
And with also the largest amount of antenna bands in any phone. I think that's in the Pro models, but you still get millimeter wave 5G with the new iPhone 12s, and it should look pretty nice and should perform really nice and smoothly. And that was pretty much the main focus of this iPhone 12 event for pretty much all the iPhones was speed, it's fast, it's got 5G.
5G just got real.
We also get the new A14 processor to go with the new 5G, so this should be one freaking fast phone. And the iPhone 12 mini, just because of its size, doesn't mean that it's not good. Moving on, the other main feature is the new design. So, I don't know if you call it new, but we get the older design from the iPhone 5 and also the iPhone 4. Just a flat edge, and it feels really nice, so I'm actually really happy to see this design turn back, and it's looking really nice. And we also get the new navy blue colour, which is really looking pretty snazzy, if I don't say so myself. The navy blue colour, I honestly think, is the nicest colour on any iPhone ever, so I did like the midnight green from the 11 Pro and Pro Max, but that navy blue colour is really nice, so I'm hoping it's as nice as it is in the commercials, because it's honestly such a stunning colour. And then you also get this new glass that they're talking about. They call it ceramic shield, but pretty much it's just like this crystallized glass that is supposed to be 4 times more drop resistant. We haven't heard much on scratch resistance, so maybe it's only like a 1.3 times increase, which is like what a lot of smartphone brands are encouraging these days. But maybe it's only a small increase like that for scratch resistant. But drop resistant, we should see pretty much a lot of improvements. So you iPhone users who drop your phones, I literally go to school and I see so many dropped iPhones, cracked iPhones. I'm happy for you. If you buy this new phone, it shouldn't crack that easily, since it won't shatter as easily with the new ceramic shield on the front. You also get it's matte, and also you get some of the new connectors on the sides, and also, obviously, you get a glossy black, which I would have preferred matte, but, you know, probably they're saving that for the Pros, because Pros look pretty snazzy when they're in a matte back. So yeah, let's jump back to the processor now, and you get the A14 processor. It's a 5nm chip, the fastest chip on any phone by up to 50%, Apple claims. I'm not really sure that's true, but let's hope it is, because then we're going to have some catching up to do on the Android side, which, sure, I do think 50% faster is something to brag about, because that is pretty damn impressive, but I honestly don't think that a lot of people are going to use that power, so maybe it's not worth it. And if they're going to be using that power, why don't you add 8K video or something that can actually use it and render some really heavy tasks? But a lot of people do randomly edit on their iPhones or edit photos, so maybe they still find pretty important, but I honestly don't think that the A13 needed much improvement, but it's always nice to see some improvements from Apple. But a lot of people have been confused with the new A14 processor. This is not as fast as the A12Z, because the A12Z, or A12Z if you're American or Canadian or any other place in the world, basically the A12Z has an 8-core processing in the CPU, where compared to the A14, which has a 6-core, so basically the multi-core performance is better, and that's pretty much what you need if you're going to actually be using this pro level. Otherwise, for single-core performance, that's not really that much. That's like opening apps and things like that. Honestly, if you're going to buy this for pro work and you really want to work pro, I would say just buy an iPad Pro instead. It's a still faster processor, but with the new ARM MacBooks, we should be getting the A14X or the with the new ARM MacBooks, we should be getting an A14Z or A14X processor, So that should be really cool, and hopefully we'll get some really nice performance gains with hopefully an 8-core processor instead of a 6-core used on the iPhones. So I do think it's plenty powerful. This won't stop at anything. This iPhone will be so optimized, and opening apps should be faster than on any phone. Although 120Hz would have been nice just to have that perceived speed faster. We're all still sad about 120Hz. I'm not going to stop complaining about it. Oh, 120Hz isn't for the average consumer. Neither is 4K HDR Dolby Vision video, is it? Which brings us on directly to the Pro models. So the Pro models, basically, they are kind of different to the iPhone 12s this year. So first off, the iPhone 12 Pro now has a 6.1-inch display. Now it's actually similar to the iPhone 12 regular. Speaking about the new displays, I'm probably going to jump back to the iPhone 12 and 12 mini now. You also get a new 1080p resolution, thank the Lord. And it's also OLED now, so that's really good. So it kind of contrasts against the Pros, because the Pros haven't really got anything else that's really beating out the regular iPhone 12 and 12 mini. So if you're looking at a good display, probably the OnePlus 8T or the Galaxy S20 FE, or even the Pixel 5 if you're looking for just a nice 1080p 90Hz panel. But the other two phones, if you're looking for 120Hz, that display on the iPhone 11, while not being bad, wasn't great either. So I'm really happy that they've added this now. Now all we need to see is high refresh rate, and on the Pro models and this ProMotion that everyone's going on about, even though we're seeing it in £200 phones. Be very controversial, but I honestly think iPhones have such good battery life that we don't really have an excuse not to put 120Hz on it. Maybe they're waiting for next year to make an actual perceived increase for the iPhone 13, which is probably good for their marketing, but it would have been nice to see it. But moving on now, we're going to talk on to the battery life, which we were just talking about then. And the iPhone 12's battery life, it should be pretty nice since it has an improved battery over last year. It also comes with a charger. I know the charger isn't included in the box, but honestly, I'm actually quite glad. Most people do have a plug lying around, and there is a USB-C to Lightning port in the box, and I've heard there's also a Lightning port in the box, so hopefully you should just be able to have enough things lying around that you can just sort yourself out. And honestly, it's like getting rid of 450,000 cars on the road each year, which I think is quite a good benefit for our society, since a lot of older people screwed it up for us, and now we've got to deal with it. So I'm thanking Apple. They're hoping to get to their 0% carbon footprint on the world by 2030, and this is quite a good step in the right direction. And although I'm sure a lot of you guys would have preferred to have a charging brick in the box, it's still cutting down on the emissions, and I'm actually quite pleased with Apple. So let's move on now, and let's move on to the final thing I want to talk about on the Pros, which is the cameras. So the cameras are pretty much quite improved from last year. So yeah, we get a 42% larger sensor on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. We don't actually get any improvements from last year on the 12 Pro, which is quite weird, since the 12 Pro is still starting at £1,000 or $1,000. Be letting a lot more light, and also it just should improve portrait mode shots, low light shots, and other things like that. And so I'm actually quite pleased with Apple for increasing the sensor size, because we've had around the same sensor size for a while now, and I do think it's worth an improvement. So we also get 4K 60 HDR Dolby Vision video. It should be pretty cool to see 4K 60 on an iPhone with Dolby Vision and also HDR. So your videos should be looking crispy, and us video producers would really enjoy that if we had the money, because the iPhone 12 is £1,100. So it's pretty disappointing that they made it that price. But you do get four color variants. So you also get gold, navy blue, white, and black. So decent amount of color there for you. And the navy blue and gold are actually looking really nice. Gold especially is by far the nicest gold on any iPhone ever. It's not rose gold, so thank God, because it's looking really nice. And also the navy blue colour is looking swish, so I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these. Not to review, because I probably can't afford to, but I mean, if I could review them, then I would, but I don't think I can, so, And the final thing we're going to talk about, I know I said final with the camera, but still, this is the final thing, and that is the new MagSafe thing. So I honestly think this is the coolest thing about the new iPhone 12s, really. Apart from the 4K HDR Dolby Vision, whatever the rest of the sentence says, I do think MagSafe is such a cool feature. I know we wanted it to come back to the MacBooks, but Apple screwed us over with that, and now we get it on the iPhone. So it's actually looking really cool though. They get this little they've got this little magnet in the back of the iPhone that basically when you go to wirelessly charge, you slap it down and it basically snaps into position instead of you like trying to find the perfect position of a wireless charger. But that is not really that cool, and Apple thought they might as well add some cool new accessories, so they've got this really awesome case. They've got some different case variants, and you also get a wallet case where you have a wallet that just magnetically attaches to the back of the case, and it's looking really nice. I would actually probably rock this myself if I had it. And you know, it just keeps all the cards, mini cards, and like stuff like that in it that you want. So yeah, that's about it for the new iPhones. I know there's not that many new features. Apple have probably done the best job of any phone without a high refresh rate. I honestly think they've kind of perfected it, but without the high refresh rate, it's not as competitive as I would have liked. But I do think it's looking like a really good phone. AirDrop is such a good feature. I love that on iOS. I use it on my iPad. I don't have an iPhone, so... but when I'm actually airdropping to my Mac Mini, it is just such a good experience. But for most people, I'd say the iPhone 12 mini is quite a good buy. 5.4-inch display might get a bit short, but if you're worried about that, the iPhone 12 is always there. No high refresh rate on either. But if you're really looking for, if you're a videographer, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, way to go. And yeah, and that's pretty much it for the iPhone 12s. I wouldn't really suggest the 12 Pro this year. It's not really any different to the regular 12. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll catch you next one. This has been Tech Auras. This has been the new iPhone 12s. Right there. And I'll catch you next one. Bye-bye.
5G just got real.